generous with her time and giving way. I just wanted to push her on a point that she was talking about working with local authorities. I just wondered if she shared my concern that given that some councils now under reform control seem to be getting their instructions from diktat from their leader, is she disappointed, like I am, that no member of the Reform Party are here today on this important debate?
Minister.
I think the honourable gentleman made his point very well. But as a government, we are absolutely determined that local authorities can and will deliver those high-quality services for children and young people with special educational needs and disabilities, but that it is done in a financially sustainable way. And those two go hand in hand in terms of creating that stronger and more prosperous future for children and families, because we recognise that and I know many honourable members have spoken about experiences of their constituents, that too many families and children are not experiencing the quality of SEND services and provision that they should expect, but also that rising cost of SEND provision is putting a significant strain on both local authority and school finances. I will give way.
Thank you, Minister, for giving way. She describes the additional funding, but as I've explained, there's many parents and children that are suffering with severe mental health issues, and it's heartbreaking to see. The Liberal Democrats want to provide a dedicated mental health professional in every school, so that every child and parent has got somebody to turn to when they need it. So, what steps is the government putting in place to support parents and children who are facing mental health challenges?
Minister.
The Honourable Lady identifies a really important issue that, yes, we have a big challenge in relation to special educational needs and disabilities, but also we have a much wider challenge of significant challenges with mental health with young people right across our school system. The government's absolutely committed to ensuring we have mental health professionals in every school and also in every community as well, to make sure that children and families can get that support, whether it's in a school setting or indeed outside of a school setting, if that's where they feel they want to access it. Honourable members will appreciate that we have our current spending review ongoing. It's due to conclude in June, but our objective is to ensure that local authorities, schools and colleges can deliver those high quality services for children and young people with SEND, and we will set out in more detail how local authorities will deal with their historic deficits as well as part of that consideration. So I want to thank the Honourable Member for Tewkesbury again for bringing this matter forward, and for all who have contributed to what I think is a very thoughtful debate. And I think there is a large amount of consensus on certainly what we want to achieve for children and young people in relation to getting the best outcomes from our dedicated schools grant. The government has made clear its commitment to addressing the challenges as part of supporting children and young people to achieve and thrive, and I am determined that progress will be made. So I want to give my final word of thanks to all those who work in our school system in the interest of our children and young people in Gloucestershire and across the country. And indeed, I realise I did mean to come back to the Honourable Gentleman for Hexham to particularly commend the school staff who have been working incredibly hard at Prudhoe Community High School to minimise the impact on the children and young people who are taking their GCSE exams in particular, and A-levels as well, and BTECs and T-levels and all of the assessments that are going on this summer. We know that school leaders and teachers are working tirelessly, regardless of any debate we have in this place about school funding or otherwise, to deliver the best outcomes for the children in their area, and they should know they have a government that is on their side, that will support them to deliver that, despite the very challenging economic circumstances that we have inherited. Because we need to deliver the very best for all our children and young people. And we have pledged to review the funding system to help support and achieve this.
Thank you. Cameron Thomas to wind up.
Thank you, Chair. To wind up, I thank all of my honourable colleagues for their speeches. The gallant member for Honiton and Sidmouth equated the differential in funding to an entire teacher's salary. The member for Hexham contextualised the crisis faced by constituents with inadequate transport infrastructure and unfit buildings. I will join him in thanking our teaching staff for their inspiring work ethic. The member for Thornbury and Yate explained how her diverse constituency suffers from being not rural enough, and not urban enough. Her young people do deserve more. The member for Glastonbury and Somerton highlighted the legacy inequity locked in to the current system, and the member for Taunton and Wellington called on the national funding formula to reflect current need, not historic need. The member for North Norfolk broadened the picture by explaining that families are having less children because they struggle to support even themselves. I thank the Liberal Democrat spokesperson, the member for St Neots and Mid-Cambridgeshire, whom spoke of the postcode lottery perpetuated by a systemically flawed funding formula. I thank the opposition spokesperson, who joined our call to review the national funding formula, even if her recollection of her party's record differs from the rest of the country, not least my teachers. I thank the Minister who described her ambition to put education at the heart of the government's national rebuild. I'm pleased that the government will commit to reviewing the national funding formula, and I'm sure she won't mind if my colleagues and I chalk that one up to this debate. Once more, Madam Chair, I thank you for the honour to bring this debate under your chairship. Thank you.
The question is House has considered dedicated schools grants. As many as are of that opinion say aye. Aye. Of the contrary, no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Order, order. Sitting suspended till 6. Order, order.